Welcome to the Money Savvy Parents Podcast, the podcast for parents to gain financial education to then pass on through the generations. I am your host, Laura, mother to 3 beautiful children and founder of a financial coaching business, Savvy Peacocks. Let's remove the taboo from money together. Hello, welcome back to my podcast. Great to have you with me again. Today we're going to delve into a subject around how to identify the different areas of your life and improve upon around your money, because a lot of people think that it's all about the money and it's really not. So let's delve into the question from the audience and get going.
Hi Laura, it's Sarah here. I just wanted to ask you which elements of our lives you think we should be reviewing around finances.
Thank you so much for asking this question. And the reason that I'm thankful is because often people think that all I do is talk about the product, the end goal, the outcome, the pounds, the pence, the money. And actually, when I'm working with clients, the greatest success comes when we look at all elements of their life and then move that back down to money. So what I'm going to share with you today is 6 places in which I think is important to review. So first up, I would like you to start thinking about your family setting, how that is looking, maybe what events have you got coming up over the next 2, 3, 5 years, maybe that your children are going to start going off to secondary school and maybe they will have then an expense attached to that, whether it's new tech that they need or more books or school uniform. We all know how expensive that can be. So making a direct correlation between what's going on in your family life right now and what money transactions or issues that might bring up that you need to have the forefront to be thinking about. Maybe you want to think about having another child and when that might happen and what expenses might be relating to that. Or in reverse, maybe your children are going to be finishing off private nursery and going into school, and therefore you're going to be saving quite a lot of money that you're paying out through private nursery, and therefore you need to realign your money in that way. So think about what's going on within your family right now and what's potentially going to be happening in the next 2, 3, 5 years. The second area that I think is really important to start reviewing is all around your residency. So first off, start looking around where you're living, how long you think you will continue to live in that property, where you think you'll move to next, whether you'll be upsizing or downsizing and what that will mean to your outgoings, and how much that costs you per month. Then maybe you need to think about whether you've got a mortgage, whether that's the best interest rate, but also, what does that look like for the next, again, 2, 3, 5 years? Is that up for renewal? Do you want to borrow some more money in order to make some home improvements? So there's a whole host of things that can come up when you start talking about your residency, what your home is doing for you and what you need it to do for you in the future. And then I would also like to caveat this with not only being your residency as in where you live, but also you will have heard me talk in the podcast a lot around property and property ownership. So again, questioning, could I get a rental property? What would that mean to me income-wise? Is that something that would help with my future plans and where I'm heading? And maybe if you're not in it for buying a rental property, what property needs will your children need in the future? Maybe your children are nearing the end towards wanting to go off to university and they're going to need a residency. So what does that look like? What help and support might you need to give them? So when you think about residency, don't just think about the roof over your head, but think about the bigger picture and all the other things and the eventualities that might be, again, going on for you in the next 2, 3, 5 years' time. The third area, no big surprise, is all around expenditure. So for me, this isn't just about your outgoings, although I do think it's important to keep tight to your outgoings, knowing where your money is going. And you will have heard again in the podcast, I've talked previously about zero-based spending planner and making sure that you're choosing where you're spending your money in advance. But secondary to this, when I think of expenditure, it's also about what the money you've got coming in, your earnings. and being clear with what your earning is now, what the potential is, what that looks like, again, where that might be in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years time, what promotions might you be having coming up, what that will mean to you in income wise, and then what that will truly mean to you in as far as where you will put that additional income so that it works for you and you don't just end up living up to that lifestyle because you're earning more money. And this is a particularly important one if you are self-employed, because of course, your income and your outgoings are completely within your gift when you're self-employed. So being tight to different multiple income streams and where your money is coming from on a yearly basis and having a plan in advance for that is as wise as you can be around your expenditure. So really think about your incomings and outgoings and what they look like over the next 2 to 3 to 5 years, and any events or circumstances that might change them either for the better or for the worse, and having that awareness. So the fourth area shouldn't be a surprise, is all around savings. So ensuring that you've got a great savings plan, that you understand all your different pots of money, and making sure that you've got all eventualities covered off. I did an episode again in this podcast recently around segmenting your money and ensuring that you've got savings for different things. And you may have heard me say this saying before around save to spend, and it will save you in the long run. So if you can prepare yourself for any spending that you've got coming up or any spending that you can foresee in the future, then it's actually going to save you in the long run because you won't even need to think about it. You've already prepared for that eventuality. So making sure that you're on track with your savings, your short-term, medium-term and long-term goals, and that your money is in the right place and it's still relevant for you. Being quite particular about where your savings is going and what it's doing for you and what purpose is it there for. So once you've got up to your 6 months worth of expenses for your emergency fund, for example, you're then going to say, okay, well, I'm going to start wanting to channel some money off for this goal or that goal, or what are we now working towards, so that you're clear with where your savings are going. This next one, number 5, is actually probably going to be a little bit of a surprise, but I do think it's something that we miss a trick with, and that is all around health. So all too often we are busy ensuring that our cars are well looked after on an annual basis. We send them for a service. We certainly make sure that our home is all protected and that we have an annual home insurance policy for that and that it's well looked after. And our finances to an extent. I hope that if you're listening to this podcast, you're already in that mindset of looking after your finances and making sure they're fine-tuned. But your health is one of those things that doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. So where are you with your health? What do you need to make sure that you're accounting for? So maybe you have got an ongoing health issue that needs support. Maybe from a financial point of view, you need to think about investing in getting an annual health check, or maybe you'd like to do some work around your fitness level or your weight. And so therefore you'd like to start investing back in your health and in yourself by getting a fitness instructor or a nutritionalist or someone that can help you with your body image, whatever it is that it takes. But I think your health is one of those things that are actually, it's within our gift to get help and support with, and it's within our gift to ensure that we are enriching back in our lives and within our own health. So for me, that's really an important area to be thinking about, not only for you, but also for your loved ones around you. So having that awareness of where my health is and what does it need and how do I need to reinvest back in myself. And I've talked there a lot about physical health, but it can also be about mental health as well, and how you're stretching your brain and learning new things. So there's a whole host of things that can come under health. And I think it does fall in line with an episode I did a few weeks ago around investing back in yourself, in an area of yourself that really needs it right now. And then the 6th section, that I often find myself talking to clients about is all around travel. So what are your travel plans? What have you enjoyed in the past? What would you like to make come true in the future? What travel memories do you want to create for your children? What experiences do you want to create? And having the foresight of what that looks like now. So, it might sound silly, but what's the optimum age for you to take your children to Lapland? You've always wanted to take them to go and see the real Father Christmas. And, you can see that that's a really lovely experience. So thinking now, okay, well, I'd like to do that when they're 9 and 11, whilst they still believe in Father Christmas, but maybe, they're at an age where they're going to remember that experience because it's going to be quite costly. So I want to set that money aside now, plan it out in advance so that I've got those travel plans, I've got those short-term, those medium-term, those long-term goals. And I've talked at quite an extreme level there around taking your children to Lapland, and we all know that that's quite expensive. But it can be, I want to make sure that we always have a break to the coast every year. So what does that look like? What cost is that? How can you ensure that that happens every year? Because it's important to you and your family. So thinking around your travel plans and how you can draw that in line with your finances. So in summary, the idea behind this is that you don't just focus on the products, the pounds, the pence, the outcome, that you think about these 6 areas of your life and then from there directly link them into your goals, the money associated with that, and the impact that has on your finances. So the summary of the 6 areas are your family and their requirements, your residency, including all types of property, your expenditure, meaning your incomings and your outgoings, so looking at increasing or decreasing on either side of those, your savings and where that's going and how you're working towards your goals, your health, either your physical, your mental health, and the things that are going to invest back in you as a person and make you a healthier, more rounded well-being. And the 6th area is travel, your elements of the memories that you're creating, should we say. I think travel's a really important one. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to Money Savvy Parents. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please subscribe and post your money questions within a review for future episodes. If you want to learn more, then please join my Money Savvy Parents Facebook group or club on Clubhouse. Let's remove the taboo from money together.